Hi friends! In this video, I'm going to share how to invite the joy of eating back into eating. And I'll tell you why that's actually better for your health. Your wellness doesn't have to be all about willpower and discipline. Instead, pleasure can serve as a guide to eating. Stay tuned and I'll tell you how. I'm Jenny Bilski-Smith, your food and body image coach. I'm a psychotherapist with a degree in nutrition, exercise, and psychology. I share tips and tricks to help you heal your relationship with food and your body from a physical, emotional, and even spiritual lens, so you can find joy and satisfaction in food, your body, and your life. Let's dig in. You might be thinking, hold on, Jenny, if pleasure guided my eating, I'd be eating Fruit Loops and Snickers bars all day long. But guess what? A huge body of research, plus my experience, my clients' experience, and many other people who've chosen the intuitive eating approach to eating find that's actually not what happens. I want to invite you to consider that eating is supposed to be pleasant. Eating is part of our culture. Food is supposed to taste good. Why? Because it's integral to our survival. Sadly, gluttony and pleasure often get conflated when it comes to food. When they get conflated, we might get the idea that we're doing something wrong when we're really enjoying a chocolate bar. Maybe you fear that if you enjoy the chocolate bar, that you'll never stop eating it. So when you allow yourself to eat chocolate, you might do so in sort of a tuned out state. If you can stay present with the experience of that chocolate bar, enjoying every bite, you might notice that the first bite is so delicious. The next several bites are pretty darn good, but if you can stay present, you notice a shift in the taste of the chocolate bar. It doesn't taste as intense anymore. It doesn't taste as delicious. If you keep eating the chocolate bar, it starts to feel unpleasant. So you see how you can use pleasure as a guide. You just notice when it would be unpleasant to keep eating, and you try to stay in the pleasant zone. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the chocolate bar if you like chocolate bars. Still, if chocolate or some other food has felt forbidden for a long time, it still may be really hard to stop eating, even if it's not delicious anymore, even if it's not pleasant. Here's something you might try. When you're eating a food that you've previously defined as forbidden, you might simply say to yourself, I notice I've reached the point where this no longer tastes good to me. It's no longer pleasant to keep eating. Then tell yourself you can have chocolate again as soon as it would be pleasant to eat chocolate. But for now, it's no longer pleasant to eat chocolate. When you approach forbidden foods this way, eventually they lose their urgency. Now, it is a process. At first, there may be a little more chocolate eating than you'd hoped, but if you trust the process, you will reach a point where it's just not that exciting. You with me? You believe me? No? That's okay. It is hard to have faith in the process. Just know for now that that urgency around forbidden food went away for me and many of my clients. So just know it's possible. Okay, back to pleasure. It's not pleasant to keep eating when you're full. So pleasure can also guide when you eat, not just what you eat, but when you eat. It's not enjoyable to eat when you're not hungry. In the same way, it's not enjoyable to eat when you're ravenously hungry. So you might try to find that sweet spot for when to eat and how much to eat. You want to be pleasantly hungry when you eat. That's your body's way of telling you, okay, I'm ready for some nourishment. I need some energy now at that pleasant hungry mark. Sometimes people don't hear their pleasant hunger cues, especially if they've been dieting and restricting a lot. That's not uncommon at first. I'll share how to get your hunger cues to come back online in another video. Now, remember how I said I'd tell you how eating for pleasure is actually better for your health? Well, here you go. The pleasure of eating and nutrition are interconnected. A study done in 2013 found that people who make their food choices based on pleasure rather than an intention to be health conscious actually end up with improved nutrient intake, and they consume a greater balance and variety of foods. Also, in this book, The Anti-Diet by Christy Harrison, it says that making peace with food doesn't increase people's consumption of what diet culture dubs junk food. Intuitive eaters and dieters actually eat the same amount of fun foods. As we end this video, I'd like to invite joy back into eating. Listen, changing your relationship with food can be quite nuanced. If you think you might be a binge eater, emotional eater, out of control eater, a restrictor, or if you simply feel obsessed with food, it's helpful to get the help of a therapist that specializes in food and body image issues. Between now and the next time, may you find a little more peace in your relationship with food and your body. Okay, ravenously hungry.